The 4E Nation with Malilo Dixon Wansa, energizing your life, enlarging your coast, expanding your possibilities, and elevating your game.
There's nothing as powerful as a changed mind. You can change your hair, your clothing, your address, your church, your spouse, or your residence. But if you don't change your mind, the same experiences will perpetuate themselves over and over again. Because everything outwardly changed, but nothing inwardly changed. So nothing is as powerful as a changed mind. So for this intro, I want to deal with all those 4 critical changes that we must make. Critical changes, or if you like, we can call them 4 major shifts. There's a shift that must take place. Number 1 change that we must all make. We must rise to a higher conscious or a higher awareness. I have said repeatedly that most of the times we are living in the lower levels of life, not because of God, not because of anything else, but because of our level of consciousness. Because consciousness creates our situations and awareness makes present of anything. Right now, you see, for some time we have turned our eyes away from COVID. The washing dishes we are seeing around the malls and the like, they have disappeared. Why? Because we had switched off our conscious mind. But now wherever you go, you see everywhere all these COVID issues have come around. Why? Because our level of consciousness has been heightened. So we are more conscious of the existence and the reality of COVID than we may have been in the past month where we are doing business as usual. But I believe the same way we are being conscious with the COVID disease, we can also become conscious. We can also raise our level of consciousness of who we are and also our level of awareness. If you are aware that God is within you and is in you, He will be present in your life. You know, in the Bible, there's an interesting scripture in Genesis 28, verse 16. Verse 16, we are told that Jacob awake from the sleep. When he woke up, because in the night he had dreamt, he was seeing angels climbing and coming down. And then when he woke up, he said, "Oh, I didn't know that God was in this place. And this is nothing but the gate of heaven." But all the time when he slept there, he thought that was another place. But because he became conscious and he became aware, so God enveloped his presence there. So it's very important for us to be able to raise our level of awareness, to rise to a higher conscious, to rise to a higher level of awareness, particularly of who we are. In the last teaching, I gave us 7 levels of awareness, and I said the first and lowest level is the animal consciousness. Why? Because by the fall of Adam there, man fell from the highest top where he was to begin to think like an animal. The things that he was guiding and dominating, they began to scare him. The kind of fear that man entered into. You know, now we are afraid even of our own shadows. So that's the lowest level of animal conscious, where you just live to react. So with what is going on around the world, all yours is just to react, or you want to fight. Every prayer you are praying, you are trying to avoid something that's living at an animal level of conscious. And the second level of conscious is called mass. So in that mass consciousness, you are only aware of what everyone else is doing. So you do things not because you want to do it. You do things because John and Jack and Jim, Jane and James are doing it. So you are just following what others are doing. You become a follow person, maybe like the way Nigerians will say. So that's not what God designed us to be, for us to be able to live in the mass dimension. I told us about Jesus, that he was born in a manger. So practically, when you are born in a manger where animals live, an animal consciousness is imparted on you, and then you move on. Then he had to follow his parents wherever they were going. But there was a time that he rose to what I'm calling the third level of consciousness, where he became aware of his own aspirations. So in this season, in this time we are in the new year, you must be able to embrace your own aspirations. I know most of us, we are confined to just following what our groups are doing and doing what the people that you are following are doing. That's not the perfect will of God for you. You have to embrace your own aspiration. That's why God gives you a vision. That's why God gives you a passion for you to be able to follow something that can help you. So level 1, animal level, where you just react, fight, or you flight. So if you can't fight, you run away. Then level 2, mass consciousness, is where you do what everyone else is doing. And level 3, aspiration, is where you begin to embrace your ambitions. You begin to embrace your personal aspirations. You begin to embrace what you believe you can put your life to your best use. And the more you embrace your aspirations, you move to the 4th dimension of consciousness, where you embrace your individuality, where you can express your uniqueness. There's something unique about your life. There's something special about you. Every one of us has something unique to add. But what has killed that uniqueness, that has killed that thing special in you, is this one of being confined to following the customs and demands of the groups and living and following what everyone else is following. So which means the challenge that we have, if when you embrace your individuality now, you must begin to create your own disciplines. That's why the issue of self-discipline comes in. For you to be able to create your own discipline, your own prayer time, your own study time, and your own discipline that you create around your life. That's the level 5, self-discipline. So when you begin to create this self-discipline, you begin to have your own experiences that are unique to yourselves. And these experiences, that's level 6 of consciousness. You must have some experiences. There are decisions you take. There are steps you take that must give you certain kind of experiences that are unique to you. And when you begin to experience things in that dimension, you will begin to encounter your own version of knowledge. You can add to the body of knowledge. That's why when you are doing research, we are always denied from copying from this and that. That's why there are all those anti-plagiarism and the like. They want you to be able to share a certain experience, that your experience with the knowledge, and you can share something unique and add value to the body of knowledge. That's level 6. And if you can do that, then you move to level 7, which is mastery. And I believe that's where all of us must begin to be and begin to operate with the mind of the master. The mind of the master is never scared when things are scaring. When Jesus was faced with the challenge of feeding 5,000 people, he never shook. The others were shaking. Where do we get money? It will take us a year's wages to feed these people. But Jesus was relaxed. He knew what he would do. Masters know what he would do. Even in all this that is going on around the world now, you see the whole of Africa, most of the part of Africa, we are on the receiving end. That's why we are being challenged of this vaccine and the like. Why? Because we are still living in all those lower levels of consciousness. We are not participating for us to be able to create solutions to what is happening around the world today. So we need to be able to be able to raise our level of consciousness. So like I said, level 1, animal. So you need to quit that level in 2021. Quit it. You can't be thinking like an animal where you just react. No, you must be able to reach the level. The 7th level of mastery is the level where you respond. When you respond, you are able to plan and think. Use your brain. One author said, don't switch off your brain, switch it on. When God saw there was darkness everywhere, he never reacted. He lifted his hands in the air to cry and complain. No, God said, let there be light. So even in all these things that are going on around the world today in our families, we can turn the pain into gain and be able to create a product out of whatever challenge we are experiencing right now. So please, I challenge you, raise to a higher level of consciousness. Begin to think like a master. Embrace your aspirations, express your uniqueness, and embrace your individuality. There's something unique about your life that you must live. Even when the bell rings for you to go back to your maker, you must have left something on this planet, or you must have started something on this planet. In fact, all of us must begin to embrace that kind of mindset where you start something that you may never finish. At least be up there wherever you be and watch others complete what you started. That's very, very important. Number two change that we must be able to make. Number 2 critical change is to change your orientation. Change your orientation. Change your orientation. That is your standing, how you stand. You see, for a long time, the educational system, the church system, has given us a particular orientation that has not helped us a lot. I'll say it again. I'm saying for a long time, the things we have learned in our employment system, our church system, and also in our educational system have not helped us a lot. The kind of orientation we have received and we have entered into has not helped. So today I want to challenge you to change your orientation. You see, there are two common mindsets you can be able to look into, even with what is going on now in the world with this challenge